It's the Raggedyman back again for the final part. I've just realised how much. For the final part of this year's Big Stomp of the Year, and I have joining me three people with wonderful insights into the world of TV streaming, episodic, small format content. I don't know what we call it anymore because it's all just an amorphous blur, but we know that you often have your dinner watching it. So, joining us, we have Mel. Hello, how is Mel this wonderful day? How is your... Oh, you mute.
Yeah, I muted myself out of...
You've muted.
Yeah, well, I'm in a onesie and it's like nearly the end of 2020, so that kind of just sums up everything.
I can't think of a better result, frankly.
But at least we have the Christmas tree, so it's festive somewhere.
It's festive, and you have a wonderful onesie. Joining us from the Super Fortress, we have my wonderful co-op. We have the PinkAppleJam. How are you?
Hello, pink again because my camera's awful. Hello. I should have
On brand. On brand.
Now. Hello, everybody.
Hello.
How are you today? Even though I already know.
I'm all right, thank you. I finished a part of my comic. Hooray! So yes, I'm good. I chilled out this afternoon, ready for this.
Been 85
so,
years.
I know, so many years. But it's getting there.
Also, we have the wonderful, the delightful, if I get this right, I'm going to be over the moon, Felflowne.
Right. Oh my god.
Tuxedo come in, summer.
Well, that's spiffy.
You could do the short version, but you went for the whole version. You mad lad. Good job.
As you've seen, I will have a crack at the
was-
most ludicrous of things.
After the last session, he was practicing out loud. It's like Felflowne, Felflowne.
Give away all his secrets, Laura.
I'm supposed to. It's my job.
I put effort into trying not to be crap. I make no bones of it. So, television, that wonderful thing we watch in various manners. The world of television in 2020. Give us your thoughts. Rain them down like little snowdrops of observational awesomeness.
I have so many thoughts. So many thoughts.
Bring them forth in a flurry.
So basically, our wonderful showrunner and show host gave us these great documents. So I basically just picked out what I'd watched
All
or
from
what I
Station
actually
Controller.
knew. Sorry, Station Controller. And a good 75%. I thought, I could probably yammer on about this. This is fine. So let's start with Disney Plus. Who here has Disney Plus or has access to Disney Plus?
I have
That's
access
very
to
good.
Disney Plus, courtesy of a very lovely friend of mine.
That's excellent. Yeah, so we mainly got it for the Mandalorian, and when it launched, there was an offer on, which was nice. Sorry, the shadow is the cat's tail, standard. So yeah, Disney Plus released, which was amazing. So I started watching all the theatrical stuff, but I won't talk about that because it's television. But everybody watched the Mandalorian, who I knew of. What's going on, Claire? Are you upside
Hi.
down?
I'm coming to you from Austin.
Turning around and I'm upside down.
So everybody went a little bit mad for Baby Yoda.
Baby Yoda.
Or
Walking on the Mando, Baby Yoda.
it's now
Yeah.
called
So-
How do you pronounce it?
Grogu.
Grogu.
Yogurt.
Well, there.
Yogurt.
Yogurt, blue yogurt.
Yogurt.
So we all enjoyed that very much. And then I think Disney realized, yeah, actually, this isn't about the Mandalorian. This is about the child now. So they
Yes.
accepted their fate and they ran with it.
And they laughed all the way to the bank.
To the merchandising bank. I mean, Star Wars has always been the vehicle, the tauntaun of merchandise anyway. So
yeah,
they
for sure.
basically they know what they're doing. They absolutely know what they're doing. And I saw something very interesting today, which is basically we need to have something that's called like the Henson law or something, where audiences will be more captivated if you use a puppet and not just CGI. Like use CGI to emphasize your puppetry. I know. Look at this. Look at this.
Can I
Just
just
look
point
at
out? I love the thing where Claire popped out to one side and then Gaga's tail came out onto your screen at exactly the same moment. I was just like, oh my god.
It's almost rehearsed, just not quite. Not quite.
Virtual rather than rehearsed. Anyway.
Yes, exactly. So yeah, I think that's true. It kind of hit a nail on the head. Like you just have more feels when there's puppetry involved. It's more human. It's real.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And I think there's a lot of people that just kind of rely on CGI and doing it all up in post-production and stuff. So interesting little Facebook conversation I had today, but I don't think there's anything else to add with that because we all completely agree. Like, yes.
Yeah, exactly.
It's where it's at.
There's a big difference between the feelings that you have with Yoda in the original trilogy and then Yoda in the prequels, where he is CGI, and it's kind of just like he's not quite there. Whereas in the original trilogy, you could tell he was definitely there because he was an actual physical object that
you with the
you could
stick.
interact with.
Totally. It's easy for the actors to get like the eye contact and stuff. You know, it's definitely that's where it's at.
Just looks a little clunkier, like real life is.
Yeah, definitely. Randomly, we did have the Dark Crystal, didn't we, this year? Was it this year?
Yeah, that one ran for one season. Unfortunately, it didn't get picked up again.
No, it didn't get renewed. That's sad. Yeah. So I was more of a Labyrinth watcher than perhaps Dark Crystal, but I really appreciate it and everything about it.
That was 2019.
Oh, okay. So maybe something that people may have watched during lockdown, but yes, maybe a late 2019 thing. Sure.
We'll take it.
Yeah, fair enough. It segues nicely into the whole puppetry thing. But going from Disney Plus maybe onto something else that we watched, that isn't puppetry at all, although they are Muppets, I suppose. Although, hey, the fact that we use Muppets now as a derogatory term. Everybody in Tiger King, apart from...
Oh, my good lord.
apart from...
Carol motherfucking Baskin.
The amount of memes that generated in March. And we all went a little bit doolally anyway, because it was like the first lockdown anyway. So it was like, it was natural.
It was the perfect thing for the first lockdown, because we're suddenly living in this new world that didn't quite seem real. And we were introduced to this new world of Tiger King that really didn't seem real.
Totally.
If I could interject as well, Tiger King was an interesting moment for the enormous and mostly female true crime fandom to suddenly be mainstream. And I think people don't really see Tiger King as a true crime documentary, but it absolutely is.
Totally is, with no solution. Although the case got reopened, didn't it? Or something about, or maybe it didn't.
True crime doesn't necessarily mean it's been solved. It just
of course.
Yeah. Well, you've got. I suppose the whole thing's criminal, really.
It's certainly an unsolved mystery, which was also.
Oh, I'm thinking beyond the. Did Carol Baskin Turner feed her husband to the tigers or not? World.
Nom nom nom.
The whole thing. Yeah, no, I'd never thought of it that way. Thank you for bringing that up.
Yeah, I mean Netflix is full of its murderousness, isn't it?
Which you've been enjoying with great aplomb. I know that.
Yeah, definitely. So, like, if my anxiety is lessened, the more murders I can watch. So, like,
my anxiety has absolutely no bearing on the number of murders that I can watch or listen to. So my head is absolute horror. I was watching something the other day, and I was just there, eating my dinner, and my husband just went, "Christ alive!" And I went, "Oh, have I got something down me?" And he went, "No, that guy's kid was shot in front of him." I was like, "Oh, right, yeah. Oh, shit, yeah, that's real bad, yeah." And I'm like, "But my top's okay, right? There's no soup on my top, right?"
What were you watching, if one may ask?
Oh, it's I don't see. I get most of my true crime either from YouTube or Spotify. So it's a. Am I allowed to plug people? It's a YouTube channel called That Chapter by an amazing guy called Mike, who does short little videos on some solved, some unsolved murders and mysteries. He did one on an airport in America that's like meant to be like satanic, but then he went through and proved that it wasn't actually satanic. Which one is it?
Yes.
Denver?
Cool.
Yeah. That place got itself in the middle of QAnon on absolute bullshit. Like all QAnon.
It's a weird place, and the choices were interesting, but it's not like what people think it is. But he's really awesome. He does great videos, and he's got the most adorable Northern Irish accent. So definitely check out that.
That makes it even more appealing.
I have no problem with people plugging YouTube, because the barrier between YouTube and TV is getting smaller and smaller, especially with streaming. So why is YouTube not TV if they're doing that?
I think if we went into YouTube, we'd have to like open it to a lot of other stuff, which we don't really have time
to. It would be awful.
It would be great. Like,
We'll
Let's
be here a long
circle
time.
back around.
We could talk for another hour about just murders, perhaps, but that's another Bunkazilla show for another time.
What are you doing after this, Laurie? Yeah?
Probably watching something about murder.
Oh, so I can't pronounce murder without going murder in an awful Scouse accent, because when I was at university, there was a BBC true crime thing going on.
I love that girl. She's awesome. I do love her too. Yeah, the girl who does true crime while doing her makeup. She's literally just looking into the camera and doing this absolutely fierce makeup going, and then they found the body. It's so great.
So, funnily enough, today there was one that I actually had to not watch because it actually made me feel very, very anxious. So her name is Bailey Sarian. So yeah, she does murder in makeup. Basically, she goes through all of these.
Woman. Yeah, that's the same.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, it's called the Toy Box Killer, and it's got nothing to do with toy boxes.
No,
and it's
do not. That is not nice.
Not that one. So that only launched like 2 days ago, and I was like, it actually sent me a little bit funny, and I had to fast forward just to make sure that they were incarcerated for 1 million years. They were.
Yeah, they are. Don't worry.
So,
yeah.
And I watch made-up stories about death, and I'm a sicko.
I can't do that, Andy. I can't watch horror. I can't watch thrillers. I just can't do it. But put me in front of somebody who actually did these things in real life, and I'm like, fascinating. Like, there's something wrong with me. But then there's something freaking wrong with the whole true crime battle.
Well, I think that's a very fair comment, because there was one about was it Dirty John? There was a big Netflix documentary, and then this year they released a 2-part series, which was really funny because the actor played Henry VIII, who was a bit of a knob. So I was like, well, actually, that is typecast quite well. So yeah, there we go. The Other Berlin Girl, which is on Netflix as well. But anyway, but yeah, if people have either been incarcerated, or they have had their comeuppance, basically, like, I can watch it as long as they're not out there anymore, or the technology is there to be able to find the Ted Bundy of 2020, then yeah, I'm all right with that. But yeah, if
one last thing about murders, and I promise we'll move on. My sister-in-law got me for Christmas an A to Z colouring book of serial killers.
Oh my god!
And I was like, wow, that's amazing. And it's volume 2, so there's no Bundys, but there is Dennis Rader, and there's Dennis Nielsen's in there as well. He was in a film, wasn't he, recently? David Tennant?
David Tennant did it.
Des, that was a really good TV program.
That was
Was it a TV program? Oh, I thought it was a film. Sorry.
No, that was a TV series. That was like 3 episodes.
Yeah.
Look at me, to the point by complete accident. I am on it.
There you go. Like, Auntie Donna. Yeah,
Auntie Donna.
Oh my god, Auntie Donna. Oh my god.
That was to me, Auntie Donna was like the weird one of the year, because
I'd never heard it before, by the way, and I just we're watching this, and then I'm like, okay. It's an Australian comedy trio. I'd like, in some ways, they have a very Australian sense of humor in that a lot of their punchline just involves swearing. But they also are very specialized in their own way. And they went to America to do their big Netflix thing, and they didn't water it down in any manner. Good.
You know where they went to America, right? You know where they went to America and didn't go to Australia?
Why?
No? Because Australia told them no several times. They were like, I don't know how much can I swear? Because they're Australian and I need to quote them.
Yeah, go for it. It's
They're like, fuck off, you cunts. We don't want to do your TV show. But the thing is, Auntie Donna have been around for years, nearly about 10 years, I think.
Yes.
And they've been to the Fringe. They've been around for a real long time. So to see them doing really well on Netflix is amazing. And the fact that I thought, like you thought, Andrew, probably, well, maybe, I don't know. I've been a fan of them for years, so maybe my viewpoint is different. But basically, seeing how weird their YouTube stuff was and thinking, oh, they've got a TV show. It's probably going to be, oh my God, it's even worse. Literally, I got to the point where he'd watch an episode and then he's like, you have to watch this episode with me. But instead of watching the episode, he'd be looking at me like this, waiting for my reaction. And I was just like, because the one thing I love about them is that they're quite unpredictable. Well, I find them unpredictable. Anyway.
Yes.
You never quite know where a sketch is going. and it never quite goes as far as you think it will, but it goes pretty far. You know,
Yeah.
It makes you feel quite apprehensive, doesn't it? And I think there's that
you are a
tension.
little concerned. There's a Keith wanted me to watch one of their sketches the other day, and it was called "Man Hears His Wife Has Died," and I was like, I only saw the name of the video, I didn't realize it's Auntie Donna, and I was just like, why do you want to show me this? And literally the minute it came up, Broden, who's the tall redhead, was on the screen, and I just relaxed, like, oh, thank God. You know, whatever they do, it won't be as bad as what I was imagining.
I just want to read out two comments. Scarlet Tiger Chili. I could not get into Auntie Donna at all. It was too odd for me. I tried 2 episodes and I just wanted to scream, no, awful, not funny at all. Now, I am not going to disagree with Scarlet Tiger Chili on this at all. In as non-pretentious a way, it is a very specific type of humor. It is something that is very easy for people to just find annoying nonsense, because a lot of it is basically nonsense.
It's very Marmite.
It's absurdist. It's absurdist. Oh my God, Laura!
It's
I know,
absurdist.
Claire, come on, get with it.
It's absurdist humor. So, to a great degree, either you find that style funny or you don't. I love the fact that they were able to keep it as surreal and weird and wacky, and to present something that a lot of people just won't like. I thought that Mel, do you feel left out at the moment from not having?
I do feel. I was about to say, I feel incredibly left out now.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I can only afford 3 pairs. I sent the 3rd one to someone that's not here. Oh, that's true. They're always hugging each other. The humor is a little bit like a more sweary Mighty Boosh, which is kind of weird because I could never get into the Mighty Boosh. I tried and got extreme FOMO. Like, I know the quotes, I've seen the memes, but I can't actually get into the Mighty Boosh. It just doesn't click with me. So I appreciate
it. Maybe need to Scarlet Tiger chill a little bit, because I also don't have to. But I really freaking love Auntie Donna. So I think it's just it's not like, I don't find them as annoying as clearly you do, and that's completely fine. But I think also part of that might be due to the fact that I'd seen some of their work before. I have no idea if I just started watching Big House of Fun and had no experience of them before that, I wouldn't have had that kind of, oh, it's my boys kind of thought that I had. You know, because one thing that I recommend everyone should watch is Auntie Donna 1999, which is a short series that they did, basically meant to be like a 99 office sitcom. They basically hired an office for a week and filmed an entire sitcom, and it's hilarious. It's very, very funny. Just weird, but very, very good.
We will definitely watch that in 2021.
Some people love it.
It was made in 1999. It was made to look like it was in 1999.
Some people love it. Some people hate it. It was really nice to see something break through, and it was really nice that something that risky. Not trying to hype it up either way, but something that is that cutting.
Yeah.
Someone said in a comment, and I'm really sorry I didn't catch your name, but they said they really liked how it wasn't like most things that are pushing the limit are doing so because they are. Yes, that's the comment. Yes, Bella Lugosi shed. Was that you, Andy?
No, that's Bella Lugosi shed.
Bella Lugosi is our podcast friends.
Oh, sorry,
fellow
Bella.
podcast
anyway,
bless them.
But yeah, he, she, they are correct in the fact that most things that are pushing it because they're like, haha, look at me, I'm being a misogynist, I'm being transphobic or whatever. And you're like, oh, so brave, how brave. And whereas like Auntie Donna, like, I'm being brave by telling my friends how much I love their clothes.
I want to touch their beard all the time.
Yeah. You know, it's just like, yes, it's a little upsetting, but at the same time, it's kind of oddly aggressively wholesome.
It's like being it's like there's no such thing as toxic wholesome.
No, I mean,
yes, there is. Anyway,
One last thing I will say is there's a sketch they did a few years ago called "Just Found Out I'm Gay," which I would very much recommend. It's basically a one-man speech by Mark Bonanno, who's the short guy, about some guy yelling a homophobic slur at him in the street, but he takes it literally, and basically he's like, "Oh, you know, I just found out I was gay because a guy in the street yelled it at me. So yeah, that's new. You know, God, I didn't realize that's how you became gay, but you know, I am now." And it just goes on and on like that. But then it gets like oddly intense, and then suddenly he like turns it back on the guy who yelled at him. It's amazing. Seriously, it's the best 5 minutes you'll spend. Please go.
Definitely, no, we can all agree the beards were excellent. Anyway, away from that, what else? What other thoughts do people have on the year of telly? Mel, speak.
Okay, so out of all of the anime that came out this year, the 3 that were on Netflix, Netflix has done very good for anime in general this year. We've got The Pretender, which I've only seen 1 episode of so far, but that
same.
looks like it's been a good one.
Mm.
But not only did we get 1 Anthro anime, not only did we get 2 Anthro animes, we got 3 Anthro animes: Beastars, BNA, and Dorohedoro.
Yeah.
Dorohedoro was insane. I liked it.
Yeah.
And, yeah, that was 3 completely different concepts, but they all still worked really well. And Beastars and BNA, I enjoyed quite a lot. Like, BNA was definitely Trigger. It was just Trigger 24/7, so it was definitely enjoyable, especially after
It was Trigger.
It was Trigger, yeah.
Animation
Trigger.
studio.
Yeah, no, I'm just trying to unpack it for the audience.
Yeah. Hello, fellow kids.
Come on!
And this year, I finally watched Premiere, so that's
yeah.
finally watched Premiere, and that was definitely a Trigger film for sure. So,
So
I was
good. I need to watch that again because my entire cinematic experience was ruined by this really obnoxious weeb that was sat next to me.
God,
It was a real shame.
Tell me about that.
Yeah, it was literally the worst experience I'd ever had in a cinema, and it made me hate anime fandom who were like the age of 20.
You mean you didn't hate anime fandom beforehand?
I did, but in an old
don't
person kind
ever
of way.
let anyone stop you from hating anime fandom. That is very, very
And we say that as like pretty big anime fans, to be honest. But it was like, I was like, just shut up. He was not getting my like icy glares and British passive aggressive.
Which screening was that?
When we went to see Promare, the Studio Trigger, about the firefighters in the cinema.
And yes.
Didn't I have to swap seats with you, Andy, or something?
Yes.
I definitely had to do something. I was like, I need to be at least a meter away from the person because I'm
that was the guy who couldn't stop moving.
He was like, yes, come on, yes, oh my God, and shouting at it. And I was like, dude, this is not like the cheerleader Promare showing like you've read about happens in some screenings in Japan where people have learnt cheerleader movements and things, and he just couldn't contain himself.
Amazing.
And I was like, wow, at least with lockdown, I don't have to deal with dickheads like that. And it cost me such a lot of money to get those tickets as well. No discounts. Cinema is not cheap these days as well. Look at the fury on my face. It's turning me pink with rage. Jesus.
I think I got really, we missed out seeing it in the cinema because the same day that we went to see it, James got the day wrong of when we were supposed to go to the cinema. So the day before, when everyone was watching, was like, we're seeing Premiere. I was like, oh, maybe the cinemas are showing it on different days. And then the next day we go into the cinema and James is like, oh, I got the day wrong. So we went to see Frozen 2 instead.
At least you got to see something, I guess. But very disappointing. I just need to get that on DVD or something. But yeah, I'll watch that film again. It was really awesome. Really. Promare lovely, Trigger lovely.
Like, well, you see, there's a company that sells that. You see,
yes. I wonder which company that may be.
I was just see if we had any spares, but I think all of our pro spares have been sent to other people.
Yeah,
she's going to try and not look shifty now. So, what else has been shaking your trees?
So we watched. Oh no, we're still Mel. Go on. You were talking about Brand New Animal.
About the furry shit, Mel. Talk about the furry shit.
I talk about the furry shit. Okay.
Yeah. And how Beastars maybe looks like. Oh, this is a nice fuzzy animal story for kids.
With all the death and the murders and the angst and suicide.
No.
I think they all have their kind of dark side to them. Dorohedoro, I think, is the most violent out of the 3. Because, I mean, literally. Beastars is deep in a kind of not quite racial way, but also it's kind of like it's basically Zootopia if it was like not a kid rating.
Yeah,
because it's the similar thing with a rabbit and in this case wolf, but obviously a fox in Zootopia, and then just sort of like them trying to have a relationship despite the fact that he wants to eat her and she wants to run away from him. And like, they don't want to do that. This is just their primal instincts kicking in. So I don't know if there's another
one's a deer and one's a lion. I remember
Little
correctly.
rabbit and one of the wolf. Yeah.
Yeah.
There are
Wolf and
all
the
sorts of
rabbit.
characters, and they kind of split themselves. I guess like the black-white segregation days, they segregate themselves into carnivores and herbivores and stuff. But it opens up with a murder, and you basically see it off camera as well. So you can imagine some parents who haven't really seen the rating go,
Oh, this looks like a nice little fluffy anime.
uh-oh. Dorohedoro as well. We loved it. We watched one episode and we were like, wow, we actually have to watch some more of this.
Yeah.
It's weirdly wholesome, isn't it, as well, considering how much nasty
Blood and gore and boobs.
Yeah, everyone's really hench in it as well. Like, it was
Hench
so
and buxom.
hench and buxom. That's right. It was so unusual to see these types of character designs as well, because usually we see little waifu anime chans, and everyone's like, hello, I can murder you. Thing. Would you like some gyoza? So
Did any...
Have that before I murder you, or it's going to go to waste.
Yeah,
So.
one or the other. Which one? What's it going to be? Oh, so
And then-
what did we say it was? It wasn't steampunk. It was. Oh, no, this is going to like turn anti-apoplectic.
It's chaos punk. Would
chaos
be
punk. There you go. There we go.
Broadly speaking,
What were we saying
would be the
about?
phrase. But let's not get too far into that because it's a rabbit hole. I'll all come screaming out.
I know. I only do it to wind
You well done at winding me up. It's not hard. So, what other things did people watch or consume or observe as trends? Speak forth.
I see.
the-
Sorry. No, go on.
Let Mel have a go.
I'm trying to hand my glasses to her.
That doesn't work because of time and space. Anyway, you were saying, Mel.
It's time in 2020.
I haven't watched it yet, but obviously Queen's Gambit has been quite hot on
Ooh, sex
everyone's
chess.
list.
Sex
And, though for a particular meme that there's a meme going around of her where she's in her underwear on the sofa smoking and with wine, and people are like, oh yes, I wish I looked like this on my absolute worst, because
wonderful.
still, because even though she's supposed to be like depressed and like low bottom, she's still looking classy with her cigarette as she's smoking. Like, I think she's got like a shawl that's like off one of her shoulder in a sexy way, and I'm just like looking at her wearing the same clothes for a week,
She's
having just showered. Like, yeah, sure, cool.
She's a 20-year-old speed freak, so
I'm just saying, you probably wouldn't remember to wax your legs as often as that. I'm just saying.
okay. I don't know.
You can see your reflection in those pins. That ain't normal for
Okay.
a person who's put their shit together.
No.
Okay.
We absolutely thoroughly loved the Queen's Gambit. We watched an episode a day, no more than one episode, because it was really intense.
because I get fed up with binging.
It was
Oh,
really intense, but without being graphic, abusive, anything like that. Like, there were some horrible things that happened to the protagonist, but it didn't glorify them, and it wasn't graphic, basically.
Yeah.
So, and I think that's why it was intense, because you thought about what was happening and what was being said, and maybe sometimes it was worse. But did it make you want? It was basically a sports anime and a gaming anime. And I was sports anime. What's going on?
It was the sports element of it. The one thing I've repeatedly said is that if anyone ever wants to do a sports movie or a sports series, watch The Queen's Gambit, because that shows how you can make a sport interesting for people who don't give a shit about the sport. I don't care about chess. They made it interesting. They made me get the emotions of what was going on.
You didn't have
In
to know about
fact,
chess.
any good sports anime will do that. By the end of watching Yuri on Ice, I was like, he'll never land that triple salchow. My son of a bitch, he did it! You get well into it. Like any good sports anime, by the end, you're just like, well, if he doesn't get 3 points, they're not going to go to the finals. You're like, that souffle's never going to rise.
They obviously cribbed a lot of sports anime because
Clearly.
it was.
No. Well, I picked out something that a person on Twitter tweeted. Queen's Gambit has been viewed by 62 million people. The producer, Alan Scott, was on BBC News talking about how it took 30 years with 9 rewrites, and every studio he showed it to said that no one would be that interested in chess. And at the bottom, they wrote, "Please persevere with that thing that you're making." And, you know, it's true. It wasn't about chess. It was a bloody relationship drama. It was about PTSD. It was about extreme independence, which is a PTSD response due to all that shit that the protagonist went through. It was incredible. Absolutely incredible. And funny, in, you know, not about PTSD, but just how things were handled. You know, and you really, really wanted that protagonist, even though she was brusque, even though she kind of, you know, she was rude. Yeah. You those little incremental relationships that she did build, you wanted her to succeed with them. So when it slipped through her fingers, it absolutely broke your heart. Really,
also had a decent bit of lesbian representationship in it.
Yeah.
In that she
going to mention that.
Oh, well, then mention it. Mention it.
Go for it.
I have a whole LGBT like thing to go.
Well, talk then. I only talk when you guys aren't.
I haven't watched The Queen's Gambit, so I am willing to hear all of the chess stuff about it. Also, am I right in thinking that the woman they've used in all of the advertising is not actually the main character?
She is the main character.
She's not the main character of the book, though, is she?
Oh, the book's nothing like the movie, so the series, so who cares?
I'm not sure. It was written in the 80s, probably about chess tournaments, so maybe she wasn't the protag. Who knows?
The main character is the one they've been using in the advertising.
The redhead, yeah. She's very sexy.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was the fact that everyone's like, no one will be interested in chess, and they just push her on. They're like, go on.
You were saying about its lesbian representation that you haven't seen.
Oh, I do my research. I keep on top of LGBT trends in TV because it's important. Like, I have all this stuff I'm going to talk about from shows I haven't watched, but I have heard about and have been on the gay news website.
Well, hit us up.
All relevant. Go for it. Yeah.
Okay, bring out my notes. You better be ready for the PowerPoint presentation. No, I'm just kidding. So,
we are ready for a PowerPoint presentation if you want to do it. Carry on.
No, I'm just kidding. So, like, Ian's already covered, like, when he put this beautiful thing together, which he showed us. He basically covered a few of the what I would class as socio-political or social justice issues that have kind of been reflected in TV and film, but TV, because that's what we're talking about this year. He's mentioned things like the fact that the voice actor who played Cleveland has stepped down because he's white, which I didn't realize, but, you know, it did make me laugh where it's like, he stepped down after 20 years. I'm like, okay, yeah, cool. I mean, the show's not as popular anymore, but, you know, you do you.
How noble.
And I mean, it's things like that, and the fact that, you know, this is like, again, Ian did this research for me, but the fact that with the Black Lives Matter movement and all of the things that go with that, things like TV shows that are centered around police officers like Brooklyn Nine-Nine have been taking action. They've been changing scripts, withdrawing scripts, making large donations. And no, it's not enough, but it certainly is more than we were doing last year. So, you know, good.
You've got to give credit to 9-9. They have dealt with race
I will always
issues
give credit
before.
to 9-9, because even before all of this kicked off, and that's a very white thing to say, and I apologize, but, you know, even before the events of this year, shall we say, they were still a groundbreaking TV show in the fact that they had a really diverse cast. You know, they weren't stereotypical in their casting. They had, gasp, 2 Hispanic women who are nothing like each other. What? You know, this kind of thing. And, you know, several black characters who were very different from each other and who weren't stereotypes. You know, it doesn't sound like a big deal, but it is. You know, like, and it should become more the norm. And shows like Brooklyn Nine-Nine are going to make that happen. I do believe that.
I think it's happening. I mean, even Cartoon Network have been doing these basically public information minis.
Yeah, because the universe ones I've seen. Yeah,
they don't fuck about. They're like, don't be racist, don't be homophobic, and it's like,
Have you seen the Don't Be Racist one? It's actually hilarious. It's Garnet, and you're like, this is a bit cheesy, but then a bit like Auntie Donna, it swerves, and you're like, whoa, it's got really real in here.
Totally. And I don't care. Like every time, it's like, you know,
that's where they need to go.
That's how it should be. Yeah. Kids can appreciate it. It's just adults that can't. So hopefully, it'll be
like a fear of spiders. It's a learned behaviour.
Well, not all of those are learned. Some of them are officially phobic. But also, I know this isn't maybe like our area, but there was a same-sex couple on Strictly this year, which was very interesting because apparently, and I didn't know this, there have been same-sex couples on all the other European versions of Strictly, not ours though. And Strictly Come Dancing has absolutely no has no problem using the gays for, to draw in the crowd, like people like Will Young and a guy who I looked up called Ranj Singh. I hadn't heard of him, but he seems really cool. But they kept going, oh no, but we can't have a same-sex couple. And I'm like, why? Whatever. Like, because it's a family show, and I'm like, they're not going to be slithering on the stage. What the fuck?
They were complaining about how it would make a mockery of dance. I'm like, you had Anne Widdecombe on there, for Christ's sake.
And she makes a mockery of being a human being. So.
There was what's his name, the guy that they kept on for about 6 weeks just because he couldn't dance for toffee. The average viewer of that series is not looking at it going, oh my god, that foot was in the wrong place for the paso doble. Get the shotgun. They don't.
I only found out who won, but I'm not going to say it because of spoilers. But I'm very glad the person who won. Me
too.
National treasure.
We all know who that means. But you were saying.
But also in September, there was the announcement of Star Trek Discovery Season 3, and that there were going to be both trans and non-binary characters played by trans and non-binary actors, which is a big deal. Also, I feel like there's always a rush for people to go, this is the first time this has happened, and it sometimes can be picked apart by, no, but what about this? But what about this? I don't care if it's the first time or the second time or the third time. It's good that it's happening more.
Yeah, and people are noticing as well. There was a character on the She-Ra animated as well, who was non-binary as well, voicing
Double Trouble. I think Double
Trouble, yeah, and voiced a shapeshifter character. I was like, that's adorable. Yeah, they had a really good time doing it as well.
I am very happy that they have those characters on Discovery. I'm trying to think of a way of saying it's a shame it's on a show as naff as Discovery, but I appreciate that a lot of other people do enjoy it as well. So it is very useful, and it continues the great tradition of Star Trek of pushing back boundaries and doing. So that's wonderful.
You see things like people like right wingers who are enjoying Star Trek, and you're like, did you watch the show? Are you okay?
Did you actually anything? It's like them people on Facebook that have be kind in their profile pictures, and they're just trolls,
it's like be kind, but also if you're black, get the fuck out of my country. And you're like, okay, Jan, okay. And I suppose the most recent one is the Elliot Page coming out as trans, and then confirming that he's going to reprise his role as is it Vanya in Umbrella Academy? Which is great because obviously like recasting would have been a pain in the ass, and he clearly got the rule down pat because he's been playing it for so long.
And I would like to immediately they were like, congratulations, he's done so well. Great.
I would like to stand for my own fandom very quickly. There has been a long-standing comedy bickering back and forth between the Umbrella Academy fans and the Doom Patrol fans, all in very, very good taste. And all very fun. And then as soon as the Page situation came, it is Page, isn't it? Yeah.
Elliot Page, yeah.
Elliot Page. I was just trying to think of the last thing. All the Doomies were just like, fucking back off, they're awesome, and just hustled around with all the umbrellas. So it's very cool. And they had the normal ridiculousness going on, but
fans as the metal guys in the mosh pit who will like form a protective if they fall, like, watch out, someone's fallen, get out the way, and then they're like, okay, wait, well,
absolutely. I tell you what, my mum was always like, why are you going to these punk clubs, these rock clubs, E.T.'s terrified mother? And I'm like, because everybody there is more of a big brother than the meat market that is the club down the street. And she couldn't understand it. And I was like, I felt safe in those places. Yeah. But Andy, didn't Doom Patrol Season 2 come out this year?
Doom Patrol Season 2 came out this year. It was amazing. It was awesome. It didn't get the final episode because of COVID, but it's been renewed for a third season, and the final episode involved Jesus kicking Robot Man's ass all over the place, which was strange. And it was great. And it did its normal thing. It dealt with a bunch of LGBTQ stuff, and it did it quite well. Danny Danny the Brick turned up. He then became Danny the Disco, and then by the wonderful powers of the Dannysons having an amazing party which just had every stripe of gender and sexuality getting down and getting on in it, he then became Danny the Man. So, no, sorry, Danny the Bus.
Sorry, hang on. Did you refer to people who live on Danny as Danizens? Because that's fucking amazing.
Danizens, yeah.
Danizens has been the phrase for Danizens has been the phrase for ages.
Yeah, I think
No,
they
I
actually
didn't know.
use it.
I'm not in fandom. I didn't know. So that's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm sure
Danizens.
they use it in the comic as well. Danizens.
Yeah, Danizens.
I've
Yeah.
not read it.
It's so sweet. So sweet as well. And
Yes.
you end up hating the chief even more.
A few months back, I sent Andy a screenshot from one of the non-binary groups that I'm in. Basically, I don't know if he showed you, Laura, but basically someone had discovered Doom Patrol for the first time and was reading the comics and had just come across Danny the Street and was just like, "Oh my god, you guys, you wouldn't believe it. It's this street, and they don't have a gender, and I feel so seen by a street." And I was just like, Andrew needs to see this immediately.
Oh, that's so lovely. And of
Although
course,
you do get the issue that canonically Danny the Street in the comics is still a he, and Danny the Street in the TV series is non-binary. So you have
that's
to.
They're two different things, aren't they? So
it's
Yeah.
a really good example of just like different adaptations having their parallel universes.
Oh yeah,
It's really important. And it was only this season that I realised Danny the Street was based on old British drag actor Danny LaRue.
Danny LaRue. Yeah. Which
Claire
is
has-
impressive.
Claire is
I'm
deceased
so
from puns.
stupid.
This is really impressive considering you have seen me explain that in my Danny the Street talk once, and you have seen me explain that in my Danny the Street talk twice.
That was a long time ago, Andy. and
So,
I need to
obviously,
laugh at that.
My
can't
talks
remember.
are for naught. Anyway, what else? Talking of fandoms being calm, restrained, and sensible, did you guys see all the hell that kicked off about The Watch by Terry Pratchett?
I did on the
Well,
outside looking
remind
in
me.
because I'm not deep into the fandom. I have enjoyed a few.
Yeah,
Again,
you're gonna
it's- yeah, how about you, Mel? Did you?
No,
No.
I've
Oh,
not actually. Excuse me. My only experience of Terry Pratchett has been Discworld Noir back when I was 8 years old. I've
Pickle.
not actually got round to reading all the books, though I hear they are amazing. And one day I will when I actually
Amazing. So
when I
good.
actually have time and I'm not, sitting at a computer all the time.
I can recommend you some because when you've got a book series and you're like, I want to read these, and you're like, oh my god, there's 40 of them. I can definitely recommend some good ones to start.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah,
right at
yeah,
the
I
beginning
did
is
that
not
with
best.
me.
with
There's
Pratchett.
like
Yeah.
canonic. What's the word? Chronological order. That's it. If
Yeah.
there's a chronological order, then that'll help because I'm just like,
It's usually in the front of the book. Most of them, it doesn't really matter because they can be read in any order. But actually,
Okay.
when he started writing books that had to be written in a certain order, he would write a little preface saying, yeah, most of them you can read in any order, but for this one to make sense, you need to know that this, and happen. Right, we good? Let's go. And he wrote that at the beginning of the book.
It's
So
like having those lists of anime where they pick out the important episodes and then you can skip around the monster of the week. Like there's a list that exists for the entirety of Sailor Moon, which is like 160 odd episodes. Very important, I think. So yeah, something similar is needed. I'm sure they exist as well for Pratchett. Top 5, for example. Anyway, but
It's always practice. It's
Anyway.
like his style changed quite a lot all the way through the books. Anyway, I would say I'm probably Andy. I can't speak for you, but I'm well into the Pratchett fandom. So
Oh, I am as well. I just
Awesome.
thought the way they reacted to it was quite.
you and me
It's
have a
quite
very similar view to how fans react to things, and that's that we just wish they'd shut up and never talk again.
Yeah.
But the thing is, this is a problem that I often have on the internet. The fact that my driving force of just let people do what they want, but I'm deserve an opinion. Hits like that on the internet all the time, and it can cause a lot of stress because yes, they are correct and they are allowed to express their opinion. But I'm always kind of like, it's always dangerous to say if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything, because I don't agree with that. But at the same time, like, from what I've seen of the show, which is not a lot, and is there a trailer? I think there's a trailer.
Yeah,
now,
there's a
but
trailer, which
it was
caused someone to ask if they could do a class action lawsuit against the TV series. Which
part of me is just like, there's a pandemic. Can you get a goddamn grip? Like,
Yeah.
for God's sake. I just can't. Okay, I get it. People are upset, whatever, like, and I think if people are going to start making lawsuits, it's probably people who own the rights to his work that maybe should be doing those, not, me or someone else. And it's difficult. I haven't even told you what I think of the show yet, because I don't know. Because nobody knows.
I don't know either.
No one's seeing it.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It's just, I am all up for seeing variant. I actually haven't, and this might surprise you, I haven't seen any of the TV adaptations of Discworld. Not because I'm like, oh no, but just because I never really felt the need to, like, I'm like, they look good. I like who they've cast for so nice. But I've never really felt like, yes!
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I'll just go read the book, it's cool. And I feel like if Good for Terry were still around, this TV show probably would not exist in its current form, because he would not have he would have said no. But he's not here, unfortunately, and this is what happens. Like, things move on, and it doesn't look like The Watch. Put it that way. I don't think it looks like The Watch, but it could be good in its own right.
Oh,
if
I don't think it looks like The Watch either.
And think this isn't The Watch.
It looks like a laugh.
Great. You're correct on every count, and all you've done now is sit through a TV show and made yourself feel awful.
It's like,
Fantastic.
why did they put Terry Pratchett's name on it? Why didn't they just make an original thing?
To sell it.
Like, that is a very good point, Laura. Because I guess the Terry Pratchett name will bring people in. It's a marketing.
Yeah.
That'll be it.
And I bring it up all the time, but that Bloomin' Gem and Hologram movie should have just been a film. Got the
We're gonna get you some therapy.
The world of television, I digress. Gem is a cartoon series, it's fine. The only good Gemish bit about that film is apparently the last 2 minutes with Rihanna coming in as Pizzazz. And I'm like, the entire film should have been about that, and it wasn't. Waste.
It's really interesting what Bella's just said, actually, there about unless an original is completely deleted in the remake, which, let's be fair, has that ever happened in the history of ever? Not really.
No.
But a related story is that apparently, and again, I haven't fact-checked this, but I have no problem believing that it's true, is the fact that when he sadly passed away, I think in 2015, there was an arrangement that his computer disks, so Terry Pratchett's computer hard drives, and all the work that he hadn't completed that was in the works be destroyed. And specifically be destroyed by driving a steamroller over it. So he's got a friend to lay his hard drives on the road and roll a steamroller over them. So
that one's been confirmed.
Destroyed.
That's so funny. That's so pretty. I love it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, that's not what Bella was saying, but it just reminded me of that whole. Like, no.
That's awesome.
I think, because one of the things I'm seeing is in my world is a lot of reasonably okay movies getting turned into multi-season TV shows. Sniper, not Sniper.
Snowpiercer.
Snowpiercer. That's been done. I can't remember the name of it because it was ages ago. I think it was called Sniper. The one with a sniper in it. There was. My brain is breaking.
The one with the gun.
The one with the gun. Yeah. There just seem to be
pew 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 pew.
that kind of stuff happening. And I'm like, okay, I'll just watch the movie. I don't want to watch the series. But yeah.
And that's fine. Like, no one's making you watch it. Like, I think people, and again, not everyone agrees, and that's absolutely fine. But like, people put so much of their personality around the media that they consume that any slight against that media, be it perceived or real, is perceived as a personal slight. Yeah. And we've all done it. I'm not sitting here going, oh, peons. Like, if someone does Steven Universe, I'm just like, you want to freaking go? Like, but I'm like, no, there's got to be reasons that people don't like that show. They'll be wrong, but there's got to be reasons they don't like it. But like, you just have to kind of take a step back and be like, okay, yeah. But you're just like, if the show really speaks to you, or media really speaks to you, and you're like, that was special to me, and then someone goes, oh, that was a pile of crap, wasn't it? And I was just like, no.
I also think, to be like an Uber fan, you need to be able to criticize it and have an enlightened discussion about it. No media is ever going to be perfect, but you see it in everything, especially when during lockdown people had so much time to themselves, and the thoughts and everything is like a personal affront, and it's like, sorry, Mel.
Sorry, I was raising my hand patiently.
I wasn't sure what she was doing. I was like, I'm just going to do it.
Speak, Mel.
Tiny finger guns.
If you want, I can mute these two dogs.
No, just what Felf said just reminded me that Steven Universe finished this year.
Yeah.
It had its final season, and that was incredible.
I haven't
That
seen
was-
it.
It was a
Oh,
very.
you need to! It's good.
It
It's
achieved one of the few things that TV does, a TV series do, and it had a really good ending.
yeah, it had a satisfying ending that tied up a lot of loose ends. And whilst it was a series that probably didn't need to have been made, it had a good enough resolution that it was worth it, I think.
That's so pleasing to hear. She-Ra did as well this
Mhm.
year.
I still need to catch up on She-Ra.
Oh, you must. You absolutely must. It was a bombardment of feels.
Brilliant, really, really good ending.
So even though I haven't got to the end of Steven Universe, I've only seen season 1. I really appreciate. I know. I really appreciate everything that it does, and you know how many people love it, as I love the She-Ra series. And now they're two completely different animations, but they're so good, and they both, you know, that it's just so good. Oh,
I had totally forgotten about this, but
Oh, The Good Place. I still
Good
Good
have
Place. Good place.
ended brilliantly. Had me in tears.
I don't know why I haven't seen it yet.
The ending had got me in tears. It got me happy. It got me sad. It was a magical ending, and I'm gonna say something really weird. I love that series so much. I don't want to watch it again.
That's fine.
Which series? Sorry?
The Good Place.
The Good Place, because I was watching it because it was coming out on a weekly basis, and then there was like a 6 or 9 month gap between each season, and it was so it was just that journey of only being able to watch one episode a week, it being 20 minutes long, just popping through it. It covered everything it could have without getting duplicate, you know, going over anything more than it needed to. It had a perfect speed, perfect tempo, and perfect timing because of that thing. So if I was to now try and watch it again, I just don't think it would have this. It would somehow lessen that. I can't quite explain it. It was such a perfect series that I'm not going to watch it again.
You absolutely. It's there's a word in German for it, I'm sure, but
Of
that
course
feeling.
there is.
It's always
I don't know what it is, but there's that feeling when you discover something for the first time and how you feel when you're discovering it cannot be recaptured, and it's wonderful, and you would want to recapture it, but then you're like, actually no, I don't think I will, because it's and again, sorry to veer off topic, but it was how I felt when I played Breath of the Wild for the first time. I had never played a Switch game, I had never played a Zelda game, and I utterly fell in love with that game, to the point where I felt I was there in a way that I've never felt in a game before. And now I've got almost to the end, and I can't pick it up at the moment, because in my brain it's just numbers and you must do this. And honestly, that breaks my heart. You know, like I'm just like, I must, because there's no leveling system, but it's like you are getting stronger. So I'm like, I need to be this strong. I need to eat these foods. I'm like, but when I started, I was just like in the middle of the world going, ah! Because I had no idea where I was. Like, ah! I've got a stick, and there's like 5 hell beasts coming towards me. I'm like, we can do this. But yeah, like that feeling of going there for the first time it's yeah. I think actually France might have a word for it. I'll report back.
Well, there's going to be a word for it somewhere. So, as we're coming to the end of our hour, 2 very simple questions. And I'll ask you guys in order, but the questions will be favorite show of 2020 and what you're most looking forward to TV-wise in 2021. And we're going to start with Laura.
Favorite show.
Favorite show. What shows? As long as it's a reasonably small list. If you start going on for 20 minutes, we will just cut you off.
I think that's fair, standard. So I'm definitely going to pop the Queen's Gambit in there. It's not going to be a chronological order in any means.
No, that's fine.
We can have shows that ended this year, even though they didn't start this year. I definitely put that season finale of She-Ra in there, because that was just everything that I thought they weren't going to do. They absolutely did. And I was shocked and proud of the entire team when they did what they did. So hurry up and watch it, Claire. I want to talk to you about it. And the third one. I don't know. I want to put Tiger King in there, but I really shouldn't.
Why?
Because
It was brilliant TV.
Well,
You were addicted to it. I was addicted to it. We were there on the sofa. I will never forget the fact that we got to the end of episode 1 and it suddenly dawned on us there was another episode.
Yeah, we thought it was just a one-off documentary.
Yeah.
And Netflix was like, "Ah, you fools. You fools.
Oh,
this is an
we just
entire
looked at
series."
each other. We were just like, how?
Yeah.
And that was off one
how?
episode.
I need to name the character who wasn't an asshole in Tiger King. I've forgotten their name.
What's a very small list?
Isn't he the one who got hit?
Got their arm bit off.
Yeah, the person that got their arm bit off.
Oh, the trans guy.
Yeah.
I know there was a trans guy.
So I've googled
Wow.
quote
His name's
Tiger
Sam,
King,
you think?
not an asshole. So that isn't showing up.
Yeah,
Right.
no, his name is Saf.
Saf.
That's
Saf.
it, yeah.
Saf was constantly misgendered throughout the entire thing, but Saf, even though she got her Saf got his entire arm bitten off by a tiger. Saf was the coolest person about everything. And I'm like, what?
Well,
What?
even when they did the Life After Tiger King, when the misgendering came up,
Yeah.
they were very cool and mellow about the whole thing.
Yep.
And it seemed to be generally coming from a very honest place, which is doesn't excuse people misgendering him.
No. Because they did it on purpose. Everybody,
which is an absolute dick move.
Always say these are, I'm Saf. Please refer to, and then they, especially for the documentary as well. So that was annoying.
Yeah, but okay. And what are you looking forward to the most in 2021?
My vaccine for sure.
Your vaccine. Okay, right. Once again, I'm going to have to explain the rules to people.
Once again,
The
I'm
world of
asking you.
television.
I don't know what's coming out. I really don't.
Okay.
I really don't.
Okay.
Moving on.
I'm like, God, I'm never getting these guys on again.
Now, favorite shows or moments in TV or whatever. Your favorite things in TV this wonderful year.
I think my favorite TV stuff from this year has been cross between second season of Mandalorian, because that ending, the finale, like, yes.
And they kept it hidden from everyone. That was amazing.
That was very good, yes. And also the second season of Fruits Basket that came out this year.
Oh,
Cool.
we did,
What happened
yeah.
was, this was the season that was truly just doing the manga stuff, because this was the content that the original anime hadn't gone anywhere near. So this is where people like me who loved the manga for years can now seen their favorite bits of the manga in anime, and it's like, yes, glorious.
Yes.
And seeing people who hadn't actually, who've only seen the original anime and not read the manga, have been watching it and being like, wait, what? Wait, what? And seeing their reactions, just like, aloha, because you know what's going to happen.
Did Fruits Basket anime just stop when it was originally adapted?
I think
At the end of volume 4, I think. Volume
really?
4, 6.
Yeah, and there are 26 volumes to that manga. Don't even get me started.
Because you'll literally never finish.
Yeah.
Anything you're looking forward to in 2021? Don't say the vaccine. Unless it's a TV series I don't know about.
I'm trying to think what TV series is coming out for next year, but I guess the next season of Fruits Basket will be coming out next year. So I'm looking forward to them doing more of that.
Yippee!
And finally, Felflowne.
Hello.
Felflowne.
Well, I did a quick googly woogly to see if things that I thought were coming out in 2021 were. I can only give you 2, but I think they're good ones.
That's fine.
So I have been enamored of seeing fan art for quite a while of a Disney show called The Owl House, and I have heard nothing but good things about The Owl House. I am super excited to watch it. It is available on the Disney Channel, but it is not available on Disney Plus. It became available on Disney Plus in America in October this year, but so far it's not on Disney Plus UK. So I'm hoping that it comes to Disney Plus UK next year, and that is when I will watch it. So I'm super excited to watch The Owl House, because I ain't downloading it because it's so close. You know, if it was a case of, it won't be on Disney Plus for 10 years, then maybe you'd be like, yar. But it's going to be this year, you know. Oh, Studio Chai says the movie of Yuri on Ice might come out. Yep, that might happen.
Yeah.
That's super exciting.
Might happen, but That's a movie, not a TV show.
That is a movie. That is a movie. But also season 2 of Fury on Ice. Anyway, what are you doing?
Oh yes.
Don't be so angry. Don't be angry about the triple sow cows. They're important. And also, there is a Netflix documentary coming out next year called Night Stalker, which is about Richard Ramirez, the infamous serial killer who was terrifying in the fact that he just changed his methods all the time. He just absolutely had no fear, which is the most terrifying thing a criminal can have. So that's super exciting. I'm looking forward to watching that and just seeing how they do with it, because I'm always up for watching another documentary.
he is quite a compelling character if you're into serial killers.
I mean, I'm not into him. I always feel that there's a demarcation that has to be made here. I find it very interesting. I'm also very glad he's super duper dead, so that's good. Or in Disney World, depending on who you believe.
More Stranger Things is coming, more Umbrella Academy is coming, and more importantly, more Doom Patrol is coming. Studio Chai, tune in for more.
Finger strangs. Yes, season 4 was supposed to launch over Easter, but COVID. So yeah, it's just.
We'll see.
So
anyway,
it was quite funny because my mum's actually a massive fan of that show, and she kept texting me, "When's the next season coming out?" I'm like, "Mother, I do not know. I've got nothing to do with Netflix."
Laura, when is it coming out? Tell the Netflix to do it sooner. I need it, Laura.
Daughter, I crave Stranger Things. Anyway.
Sorry, Mom. Have patience, please.
Well, thank you very much for joining us here. Oh God. Any more? I'm going to give you guys.
Oh, Agretzko season 4. Yeah, I'm down for that. I'm always down for some more Agretzko.
I'm gun it up. You got about 30 seconds. I don't know how that will work with the delay. If anybody wants to throw any more.
Wacky. Oh my God. Well, they better get the next JoJo's season 4 on Netflix as well, because Diamond is invincible. And where is it? We've already gone through Stardust Crusaders.
Diamond.
Oh God. Station Controller jumping in with JoJo.
JoJo's.
JoJo!
Can we do an hour about JoJo's? Sabrina season 4.
Sabrina season 4, that comes out this week.
Thursday.
Just get studio time on this TV show.
Oh yeah, for sure. For sure.
Right.
Next guy.
Oh.
I will approve a weekly JoJo talk show. Cool. Because I can think of nothing better than a weekly show. People sit there. I don't fucking know. It was cool. I've got no idea. It was brilliant. Don't even ask what happened.
A little bit more into JoJo's after Mel's partner did a talk at one of the conventions that we attended. So that was a great talk. Wow,
I absolutely love JoJo, but I have no clue what the hell.
You couldn't name anyone in a JoJo show, but
JoJo. Anyway. So, things we learned today. JoJo, fucking great. Serial killers, bad people, good shows, and yeah. Don't be an awful person. Anyway, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mel. Thank you very much, PinkAppleJam. Thank you very much, Felflowne. And thank you to you, our wonderful peanut gallery, who has sat with us through all of this stuff. We thank you. We adore you. There will be more Big Stomps coming along as the new year comes in. I don't think we got a New Year party planned. We are watching Three Musketeers on Trash or Treasure, though, if you want to join in on that. Next Tuesday is the final episode of Paul and Andrew watch all of Friday the 13th, where we watch Friday the 13th. That's long, it's complicated. Join us for that. Station controller, please. Here we go. Everyone, please wave to the station controller and say thank you, station controller.
Hello. Station controller.
Hello. You hard-working gentleman behind all the tech and all the nonsense that all of this is, who makes everything look so amazing and makes me seem like a competent presenter of some sort. So from everyone, be they in the bunker, be they in the shed, be they in the super fortress, be they in their very own sacred homes, have a wonderful time. Thank you for watching Bunkazilla over 2020. We'll see you for more fun in 2021. And that's the Big Stomp. Catch you later. Bye.
Adios.